Crypto products are unregulated and could be highly volatile. Please be aware of the risks before investing.
राज, बाबूजी के आशीर्वाद से हमने अपनी नई शुरुआत तो कर ली, पर अपना फ्यूचर प्लान कैसे करें?
बड़े बड़े शहरों में ऐसी छोटी छोटी बातें होती रहती हैं।
Looking for perfect start? Get a Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
जब मैं तेरी उम्र का था ना, तो एक सक्सेसफुल करियर, लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग सब रेडी करके रख चुका था। और एक इन महाराज को देखो, पूरा दिन फोन में लगा रहेगा।
दैट प्लानिंग तो मैंने भी कर रखी है, Unocoin के साथ।
नए जमाने के साथ नई चीजें आजमाएं। Looking for Bitcoin? Download the Unocoin app.
Guys, we really need to work hard. This wasn't a good quarter. Tell me, are you happy with this?
Unocoin.
Want to earn Bitcoin? Just grab your phone and shake it. Download the Unocoin app.
Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin.
Get a systematic buying plan from the Unocoin app to get your Bitcoin today. Download the Unocoin app.
Hello, dear audience. Once again, welcome back to another episode of Unocoins Live. And as we know, this month is about financial year closing and a new financial year starting. और इसके बीच में आ जाती है काफी interesting चीज for us, क्रिप्टो एंथुजियास्ट विच इज क्रिप्टो टैक्सेस। और हर साल हम इसके बारे में बात करते हैं। हालांकि इसको लेकर के काफी सारे सवाल है जिनका जवाब आपको शायद अभी तक शायद समझ ना आया हो या मिला ना हो, तो उसके लिए वी हैव आवर एक्सपर्ट टुडे, the CEO and the co-founder of Unocoin, Mr. Sathvik Vishwanath. Hi Sathvik, how are you?
I'm doing good, Shambhavi. How are you doing?
I'm great too, and honestly, the topic we have today, it never fails to excite me because I see how interestingly our government introduced it in 2021, and last year was the first year of this filing. Now this year again, we see so many questions surfing on, and about crypto tax, how to file them, what are the nitty-gritties, this and that. So Sathvik, just to get a quick overview, because I know we have covered the basics a lot of times in multiple sessions, but for the people who are new here today, if you could give a quick overview of the crypto tax and what it is right now.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, new set of taxes got introduced just for VDA, which is virtual digital assets, out of which crypto is also one of it. So in the new taxes that they introduced, instead of saying how the taxation will depend upon the normal slabs, they have a completely new set of rules itself rolled over. So to start with, there is nothing called uh, the exemption in the slabs. Like for example, let's say all you want is about a couple of lakhs a year, nothing else. Then you still don't have an exemption. Uh, then there is no loss offset. So if you have lost money in something else and gained money in crypto, you cannot offset those two. You still have to pay the taxes for gains in crypto. So to such an extent that even at transaction level, they are looking at it. So whatever creates loss, it's uncounted, and whatever creates profit, only those transactions are counted for calculation of taxation purposes. And it also said about whenever there is gifting, then it is 30% taxable as well. And for trading activity, whatever profits have been obtained, it is 30%. So there is nothing like 10, 20, 15, all of that doesn't work. So it's only straightforward 30%. So they kind of compared this with gambling and betting to come up with this kind of taxation structure. But since then, the industry have only continued to evolve. But we are yet to see any kind of amendments to these taxation rules that we have now. So, for time being, yes, whatever is there is what we have to obey. It's the law of the land.
Absolutely, and like you said, very rightly so, the community in India has only evolved, and we see new and more enthusiastic people coming in every day. So, Satvik, one interesting question that I was just scrolling through my Twitter, and I came across because at this time Dubai is also kind of entertaining a lot of crypto and Web3 events. There's this very interesting individual who happens to ask on somebody's tax related post saying, if I buy bitcoins from Dubai, do I have to still pay taxes? So, how does that work?
When you pay Bitcoin, you never pay tax, even in India. Okay. So only when, let's say, when you sell Bitcoin, right? Or if you're exiting some other cryptocurrency and then buying Bitcoin, then you still pay. So it's about when you exit whether you made profit or not in Indian rupees is how the entire tax calculation for the taxation would work. So if you go to Dubai and buy Bitcoin, it is not different from being in India and buying Bitcoin because you continue to be a tax resident in India. And when you're a tax resident in India, irrespective of where you make the money across the world, all of that is taxable here as well.
Yes. That is so true. And there's another thing as well, Satvik. We did a very interesting session on this a few months back, P2P, peer to peer transactions. Now, a lot of people believe if they're not utilizing exchanges, rather using P2P to, liquidate their crypto holdings, they do not have to pay taxes, at least 1% TDS. So that's a very common conjecture nowadays because people are looking to liquidate bull run, of course. They're utilizing P2P. So what do you think about that? Is that a provision?
See, it doesn't matter how you do it. Even if you do international exchange based trades, either the exchange should be doing it, if not, the individual should be doing it. So that's how the rule goes. When it comes to peer to peer, yes, either the seller has to do it. If the seller is not doing, then you should obtain the information of the seller and you should create that thing yourself. Like it's called reverse taxation. So you still have to pay for it. So even TDS, so it has to be calculated and paid, irrespective of whether the seller held it back or not. So doing it in some other country or doing it in India through peer to peer or even from face to face. So all of that will still be normally crypto taxation as applied. So we actually call this income tax allocation because it is up to us to declare how we want to declare, but we should declare it correctly. This is how uh, it should go. And if it is found that it is not declared correctly and less taxes are paid, then there will be penalties and interest and all that. whatever is due to the government. So when one is doing the taxes, it is not if someone else is watching you, it's not if someone else is holding your tax and paying to the government. It is individual's responsibility to make sure that everything is in place and everything is it's everyone's responsibility.
I think Sathvik, there was a bit of an audio issue because maybe it's me, but I was losing you in between. I hope our audience got the answer here. There's a question in the comment box that I see from Erica Nisha Fernandez. She's asking, what if a person earns their salary in bitcoins from crypto projects? Do they also have to pay 30% taxes then?
No, in this particular case, it is not through trading in Bitcoin or crypto. Okay. So here you are earning as a part of salary or consulting fees, and only the mode of payment is in Bitcoin. Okay. So when this happens, you would still see whatever is the INR equivalent on the day on which you received those Bitcoin or when you raised your invoice, and do your taxes accordingly. And if you fall under 30% slab already, then yes, you still pay 30%, but it will now come to the slabs, whatever it is. It will not come to the fixed 30% tax, which is only meant for income earned through making transactions or investing through cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin.
True, and this is a very important information because a lot of time, with the crypto projects now, people kind of are looking to get their, fees and fiat and stuff because of these taxes in India. So that was very rightly answered, and I think that was really helpful for Erica as well. Thank you for your questions, Erica. Anyone else have any questions? Please feel free to drop them in the comment section. These sessions are for you guys. So another question, Satvik, that comes to my mind with crypto taxation filing. See, a lot of us file our taxes by ourselves, and a lot of people, who utilize CA services for these things. So a lot of people want to understand what kind of records do they want to keep in order to file taxes. What kind of records are necessary to file crypto taxes?
If for people who are doing multiple trades and multiple exchanges, I would always recommend them to hold a log of their transactions, irrespective of what information can be obtained from exchanges at a later point in time. Okay, so exchanges today are not fully regulated, and what information they have or they may give may not be sufficient at the time of doing the taxation. So I would recommend at least making a note of the date and rate at which you are buying something, some buying some crypto or selling crypto, and the amount of crypto. At least these information be readily available for you. So using which at least you'll be able to construct the complete transaction history, trading history, just in case if you cannot obtain a comprehensive summary from various platforms and be able to combine it. Having this is very important, especially for frequent traders, because obviously it's too tough to remember when you're doing what, when you're doing it for the year long, and after the completion of the year, you are filing it in the month of August, which is another 5 months, right? So that's a very long term to not have obtained the proper trail of the transactions and trades, when, which is very useful for calculating the profits and filing the taxes.
Yes, absolutely. So that is very much important to keep a log of your transactions if you're doing multiple transactions. Even if not, it's always good to keep a record whatsoever. So we have another interesting question over here, Satvik, in the comment section from Madhukar Chaudhary. He's asking, can my Bitcoin lost in Bittrex bankruptcy in 2023 can be offset in this year crypto profits, sir?
You could have done this maybe in 2021, but not in 2023 or 2024, because now when it comes to the offset of expenses also, the only one expense allowed is your investment amount itself, not even the money you're paying for bank transfers, not even the blockchain fees, mining fees, not the transaction fees, I mean, no other fees is allowed. So let's say if I bought 1 lakh rupees worth of Bitcoin, okay. So for that, I would have paid few other fees, like to transfer it. Maybe I paid 5 rupees for the bank, and maybe there was 8 rupees deduction by the exchange because they processed an incoming transaction, and then you used the remaining money to buy the Bitcoin, and then there was another 0.5% transaction fees, and then you withdrew that Bitcoin. So where there was a mining fees of maybe 0.0005 BTC, and then when the price went up, you transferred it again, paying another set of mining fees, and again selling fees, and again withdrawal fees back INR when you're getting it to your bank account, right? So let's say this is the most elaborative one. Lot of them you can avoid, but depending upon how you want it. But apart from the investment of 1 lakh rupees or whatever you did, you will not be able to take the offset of anything else. So, and when it comes to bankruptcy, there is again no very clear rules of like how you can do, how and what you cannot do and such. But hopefully, when there is some kind of settlement, whatever happens, at that time you would actually have to again declare it as income. But right now, yeah, you cannot offset it yet. But those losses also you cannot offset it with some other income. Let's say you are a salaried person, or let's say you made some money in real estate, whatnot. Even with those things, this thing cannot be offset yet.
Okay, I think he has a follow-up statement to what his question was. Madhukar is saying not the offset. I'm talking about the current financial year only. I lost 4 BTC there and sold 48 on exchange this year. So I'm not. I think the question is a bit unclear. I'm not able to understand.
They lost about zero point 0.4 BTC.
Oh, point 0.4. Yeah,
Yeah.
the point I missed that out.
Yeah. So, and then they sold about 0.48 on exchange this year. Yeah. See, whatever was lost as zero point 0.4 BTC, that you cannot claim it as offset yet. As of now, you treat it like an investment that still continues to hold till you get whatever you get from the bankruptcy claims. Okay. So on the other side, for 0.48 Bitcoin, you check whatever is its buying price and see if you're made profit. And if you're made profit, then for that you pay your 30% income tax.
Okay. So I think that answers your question, Madhukar. Though he has a follow-up statement, I don't know if, but I'll still, kind of bring it to your attention. He's saying the income in the particular PAN card link is only in that crypto
Yeah.
transaction. So
So they're trying to say there is no other income. So the only income they have is
via
crypto
that.
transaction. So which is by selling 0.48 Bitcoin. They have sold it on the exchange this year. So which could have maybe depending upon when they have sold, they might have made a few tens of lakhs. That will be their income. Again, depending upon what was the cost price also, right? So that for 0.48 itself, see what was the cost price. Then you take the difference to calculate the income on one side. And for the zero point 0.4 Bitcoin that is lost so where it is Bitrex, you will have to wait when that thing will eventually get settled. But till then, assume that it's investment and hold on to it. So this is not the first time bankruptcy things are happening. If you remember, 2013 is the first year when there is an exchange called Mt. Gox from Japan
Okay.
that went bankrupt. So they got hacked for some 800,000 Bitcoin, I think, at that point of time.
8,000 bitcoins. Oh my god.
And then they said, okay, we cannot process it anymore because there is like hacking happened, whatever. And surprisingly, they found 200,000 Bitcoin uh, that they had backed up. They had not used it.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, today it'll sound all ridiculously funny, but yeah, so that's what has happened.
Absolutely.
So whatever I'm talking about is happening in the year 2013, and since then the courts and the government in Japan have started the bankruptcy proceedings and rehabilitation for the people who have lost it. So interestingly, the story goes like this. So on a particular day when they declared bankruptcy, they calculated the price of Bitcoin and they identified a number saying this is the number that the company owe to all the people who have deposited Bitcoin. At that point of time, they had not found the 200,000 Bitcoin yet.
Okay.
Okay. And then they calculated and said, okay, because we only have assets of only like X amount of dollars, for every dollar of investment that the customer already have, we will settle maybe about 13-14 cents or whatnot. Okay. That's the maximum that was possible. So then they found this Bitcoin, and then they understood, okay, what is the total claim, whatever is there, and the Bitcoin price continues to go up also. So all of that can actually be covered because of less number, even though the less number of Bitcoins was found because the Bitcoin price went up. So now what they did, they just sold enough Bitcoin to make sure that the dollar amount that was promised to the investors is obtained. So after that much is sold, there was more than 3/4 of the Bitcoin was still left because the Bitcoin price have gone so much high. So now they changed the title, calling it as bankruptcy claims because it's not bankrupt anymore. It's super profitable already. Now they started calling it as rehabilitation. Okay. And again, instead of selling the remaining Bitcoin, apart from giving whatever was owed to investors, which they are giving in dollar amounts, but for remaining whatever Bitcoin was obtained, whatever was not sold, now they are dividing that as well. Okay. So the actual division of these things only started 2-3 months ago, which means it actually took 10.5 years for going from bankrupt to actually people getting it. Given that it is a first of its kind, first of its case, maybe it would have taken that kind of time. But right now, I think whatever new things are happening, like it could be FTX or this or many other smaller exchanges, like multiple things that has happened in the past, even wallets, whatnot.
Yeah, even Gemini, there was news for Gemini as well.
See, some of them they figure out a way without shutting the business how to return it back in one or the other form. Okay. Anyway, it's a risky asset. No matter what you do, there is always risks involved. Okay, so but still, I think people should expect 3-4 years at least to get some kind of claims. So always have an eye on whenever there is they release some forms saying that okay, if you have a claim, then you have to fill this form and you have to enter that this etc. So keep an eye for it and do that, and hopefully it will return. But when it returns, I think you will be super happy that it happened.
Absolutely. So that's a very optimistic point that Sathvik just made, Madhukar. Just stay positive. You might actually get your bitcoins back, or at least the amount that you invested back. So that's a good thing about it. But again, one thing that we keep emphasizing on whenever you are investing, make sure to take self custody. If it's more than a certain amount that you can risk to keep on an exchange, always self custody it. I know we did a session last week about it, but we're gonna do another because we couldn't cover a lot of things. And again, I've already talked to Sunny about it. He's very excited for another session. So definitely follow our social medias. We'll update you whenever we do another session on self custody. So I see, Satvik, here our comment section is flooding quite a bit. Prakash here is saying good evening both. Good evening, Prakash. Sita Ram Thakurji is also saying hi, good evening, sir. And then there is Shivam P. He is asking, is TDS deducted in trade set off to profits?
Yes, yes, it is. It is. That's right. So whatever TDS that get deducted will be deposited to the PAN card of that seller, and when they file their income tax, then let's say if the income tax they need to pay is 100 rupees, out of which 5 rupees was already paid by the exchange because of deductions, then you only pay 25. So, and you can actually get that back as well if your entire portfolio is doing bad and you did not make money, you still can get that 1% back also. You have to, when you file your returns, the TDS will be returned back to you.
Yeah, that is also another important reason why you need to file taxes, because you can get returns also. A lot of people are just scared to file.
It's pathetic. You're really saying that, okay, you get your TDS returns, especially means you really, really like did not make money or you made a lot of losses. That's the only place when you get the TDS back.
Well, I am a hodler, so I do not bother at all. My taxes are going to be about, the holdings itself, so I'm pretty much chilled out. Yeah,
Mhm.
but for the people trading actively, guys, you really need to keep a log of it. And Satvik, before we take up other questions from the comment section that we have here, I'm really curious about something, which is futures trading. Now, a lot of people, now we see Indian exchanges have also introduced futures trading somehow, and people, because of course there's no particular provision about derivatives and stuff. Now people use futures trading to kind of minimize their tax liability. How feasible is that method of trading in terms of saving taxes?
See, today it is not very clearly defined, so people are taking advantage of it. At least the TDS. The income tax still it is falling under the income tax slabs. So most of people who are comparatively whom you call it as successful traders, and if they are doing the normal spot trading as well, because the loss offset does not exist, and for whatever trades that have happened to be in the profit or on the which the calculation of income tax happens, they usually get pushed to the 30% slab anyway, so they need to pay, right? So yeah, the advantage is 1% TDS, but I actually foresee that some point of time that small amendment will come into effect, where for the futures and options as well, that 1% TDS will be applicable. I believe so. But right now, yeah, people are taking advantage of it. No, let's see how long it runs. Yeah.
But yeah, from what I've seen, because a lot of traders were there, and I was just talking to them because I literally understood nothing about futures, spot, and this and that. So eventually, at the end of the day, weightage holds our spot holds more weightage than futures any day, because futures is it's just a contract. It's not the real asset.
Mm.
So that and all, everything is there, and we have a few other questions. I'm gonna ask one more question related to saving taxes and managing taxes, but before that, we'll take up the questions here in the comment section. Okay. I think Shivam has a similar question to what Erica asked in the beginning of this session. He's asking, if my freelance work payment is in crypto, then how will I pay taxes?
Okay, so here you are still doing the invoices in normal Indian rupees, I believe. So when so just the mode of payment in which you got, the mode of payment is in crypto. You would just treat as if you got the money to your bank account itself. So here, just because you're getting it in crypto does not trigger the provisions of crypto taxes, which is at 30%. So it will actually go to your normal slabs, income tax normal slabs itself, and accordingly it will get calculated. So whenever you get the payment in crypto, please make sure to record the date on which you got the payment and the price of that crypto, so which will be helpful for you to do your taxes. But you should just treat it like the mode of payment is crypto. It's not like you earned money by investing or trading in crypto,
Yes.
for which there is 30% static tax. But
Yes.
for this, it's you just got it for doing the work. That's pretty much it.
Yes. So, Shivam, I hope that answers your question. While Shivam also has very interesting another question over here, Satvik. He's asking, what is the rule for being an Indian taxpayer? How many days do I need to, in a year, do I need to stay in India if I'm liable to pay taxes in India?
What's the rule for being Indian taxpayer?
I feel it has.
Okay, I think it has to do with like if you're staying in other country, then what it looks like, right? So it is. This is not specific to crypto taxation. It is a general taxation. So you at least have to stay outside the country for 183 days.
One.
If you do that, then only you will become NRI, non-resident Indian, for taxation purposes. But also in that 6 months, you are supposed to have some kind of working visa and working elsewhere. Just because you're traveling for 183 days still does not entitle you for being a non Indian resident. So if you are living or working outside the country, yes, it's 183 days outside India.
Okay. So I think, Shivam, that answers your question. Erica has another question. She's saying, good evening, Mr. Sathvik. I need your advice regarding a hacking case of mine. How can I contact you? So I think Erica can express her concern here, and Sathvik will be very happy to answer and help you with your issue. If I mean, you can talk about it here publicly, that would be better.
So generally, these things, you will have to go and file a complaint. So now the complaints through cyber cell is extremely straightforward. So you would go and do a complaint which will be turned into an FIR, so that we can track the progress one step at a time. So you don't need to actually even go to the police station to file this. You can do it online itself. And of course, you should visit the police station when they need more details or when you want to know the status updates and such. So, but generally speaking, uh, these things are bound to happen for almost like everyone. Some part of losing some crypto for some reason, or paying to someone through UPI for some reason where you thought it was something else. So these scammers and hackers are only getting more and more advanced. So we common people always have that uh, the gap to catch up to the extent to which they are intelligent. Which means yes, there is utmost need for all of us to be extremely secure. If you ever need to store money in a laptop or a computer connect or a mobile phone connected to the internet, know that it is vulnerable. Okay, and if you are frequently using your bank account for sending transactions, I would recommend having two bank accounts and only keep a very small amount of money that you need for maybe monthly expenses in one account for which online account exists, and the other one should be like where you only have to withdraw it through check or DD or something like that, right? So not that uh, I mean, not like you will not think what you are trying to do, but the moment you need to write a check is or go to a bank, so there your thinking process will be much more stronger as compared to just clicking a button and entering your UPI pin. So you only have like 10 seconds to think if you are required to pay, but when you actually need to do something physically, you will think whether am I doing it right or not, maybe I should rethink about it. So give that time to yourself. Earning money is not easy, but losing is extremely easy. Yeah.
That is true. And being in this space, I think, Satvik, you have seen more cases than anyone of losing the money. So, definitely. So, Satvik, again, when it comes to hacking and all of those things, there are certainly losses and stuff, and there are procedures to report it and everything. But in terms of managing the security as well, what is the best practice to, keep your assets secure in order to save it from any sort of hacking or stuff?
So again, like how when it comes to investment portfolio, you have less risky to highest risk, right? So maybe like investing in government bonds, then you have fixed deposits, maybe then mutual funds, and then equity markets, then you have futures and options, then you may have uh, crypto spot trading, and then crypto and options. So it's like less risky to all the way up to higher risk, but it comes with similar kind of higher rewards. So in securing crypto as well, there are actually multiple methods. Okay. That again depends upon how much money you want to invest and what is the convenience you need when you are using that particular method. So the most inexpensive method is to just print a paper wallet. Okay, it
Yes.
costs you a couple of rupees, and once it is printed, you keep it aside. And if you are planning to do the investments and not exit over a few years of time, this is actually a best mechanism. You don't even need to invest in hardware wallets as of today. But let's say if you are holding more than few lakh rupees worth of crypto, crypto in your exchange account, and if you feel insecure about it, then yes, I would recommend a hardware wallet. So once you buy it, you will be able to use it, and it has some hardware buttons that you have to press and do the required transaction, without which the transaction will not happen. So generally they are considered to be safe. But if it is only few tens of thousands of rupees, I think that much generally you can trust with any exchange. It's not like nothing will happen, but that should be fine, because no point in investing another 10 or 15,000 rupees just to secure that, right? So you have to distinguish in that way. Or else then you have third party wallets, and they have mobile wallets as well. Again, um, almost like free of cost, but some of them are hosted, some of them are self custody. So self custody is where it displays you 12 or 24 words seed that you will have to write it down and back it up. And the hosted wallets are the ones where those wallet providers are providing it as a service, and you have them as the custody of your crypto. And if they go bankrupt, then gone, right? So you have to decide whether you want to have the 100% control on your funds, or you want to trust someone. And if you want to hold the 100% control of your funds, how much money you are willing to invest to have that particular control. And the more money you invest, it will be more convenient for you to use it later. And the less you invest, yes, there is little bit of work that you will have to do technically. But the good thing is, if you have a paper wallet, you don't need to worry about when you have to get it back online. So there is always some help that you can get, technical help you'll be able to get at that point of time. So you don't need to bother about like how I should do. You can trust the paper wallet as long as it has both private key and public key, and start withdrawing to that particular paper wallet for time. So on Unocoin app as well, you have the feature of generating these kinds of paper wallets and printing it out. So the good thing about these paper wallets on Unocoin app as well is that the private key that gets generated on your mobile phone is not transmitted back to our servers, which means unless you print it and hold it securely, you will lose that private key forever. So make sure you print it out, keep a copy of it. Only after that you can withdraw the crypto into those kinds of paper wallets.
Absolutely. I mean, Unocoin has so many features. You just need to open and see, and you have the best app with the best navigations to go with and utilize features. Now, before I start digressing into SBP and the other features, Satvik, the next question is about arbitrage trading. Of course, we have a follow up question from Shivam here, but arbitrage is also something that people worry about. How do they file taxes in that kind of a scenario with arbitrage trading?
I mean, you would just treat it as a normal crypto income.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. And whatever money you got as profit, it will be 30% taxable. But if you lose money in those kinds of arbitration, just in case, then you lose that money. That's your loss. So it is just same as normal crypto trading.
Send taxes. Okay. Let's take up Shivam's follow up question here. So, Shivam is saying if I'm working outside India for 183 days and then I made profits from crypto in the remaining days in India and withdraw it in India, then am I not liable to pay taxes in India?
You are of course liable to pay taxes. See, whatever trades you do in India, irrespective of whether you are an Indian resident tax for taxation or not, you have made it in India, you have to pay in India. So the only question that arises is, if you have stayed outside India for 183 days and if you made money in other countries, then it will not be taxable in India. If it is less than 183 days, then yes. So apart from India income for which you have to pay taxes in India, you also have to pay taxes for your global income as well, everywhere, wherever you have earned, whatever you have done. Okay. So one thing is like 100% sure. If you made money in India, you pay taxes. Does not matter where you stay. Okay. Now, if you made money elsewhere, do you still pay taxes in India? That depend upon you stayed outside for 183 days or less than that. As simple as that.
I think that answers your question, Shivam. Another thing, Sathvik, which we are looking at in 2024 that a lot of people are talking about is the airdrop fee. Now, a lot of people, new projects are coming up and DAOs are doing airdrop sessions. How do people, how does the taxation scheme applies on these airdrops?
It is like income. It is not a crypto income. I would not see that to be like how it will be a direct crypto income through trading activities. So it will be like a normal income. You should show it as the taxation slabs is what I would advise. Again, different auditors may have, of course, auditors may have different opinion about this. So to my logic and knowledge, yes, it will be just it's like someone gifted something to you kind of thing. So yes, it will be a normal income to you. So you should calculate on the day when you received those crypto what was the price, and make a log of it and use it for doing the taxation.
Yeah. Shivam has another question. He's asking if I have bought crypto and if I don't sell and use crypto to pay for my expenses, then do I have to pay taxes?
Yes, you still have to pay taxes. So here you have to consider it as an exit. So let's say, so what they're trying to say is, let's say I bought one Bitcoin today, and for whatever expenses I have to pay, I kept on paying in Bitcoin, right? Which means for every expense that you're doing, you should calculate whether that money you're paying for the expense, is it profitable as compared to the price at which you bought, or is it a loss? Forget about all the losses, calculate about all the profits, and whatever were the profitable trades, then you have to pay income tax. Just because you paid something using crypto does not entitle you not to pay the tax, because it is same like selling the crypto, getting Indian rupees, then paying the Indian rupees for your expense. You are just short circuiting that by paying in crypto because someone is accepting it. That again does not mean you can escape the taxes. You still have to pay.
Imagine the amount of calculations. I mean, as it is, I'm afraid of maths now. Imagine doing that. Okay, so Shivam, that's gonna be, really, really, really complicated. But yeah, he's saying government is drugging, LOL. So, oh my God, what do we even say about that? There's been, campaigns about reduce crypto tax. Let's see where it goes.
Just know about all the scenarios, right? So we think we are smart. Then there are way too many people who would say like how things should work, and they would have fixed it at one or the other point of time. For example, even today the futures and options is not fixed. Take advantage, however long it is. But once it is done, you are done, right? So whatever is it, just follow. Outsmarting the regulations is not easy, and out and it's also a crime a lot of times.
Yes, imagine this, the other day, because I was just very intrigued by the futures and everything, and I already have an offshore exchanges app in my phone. I was just trying to see, what is futures. And it just hit my mind, what if the government tomorrow comes up and says, what if we did not make it clear? Now you have to pay taxes on those gains as well. I mean, what can we do? We will have to pay.
Okay,
It will be such a
I mean,
shock.
see, they are only asking you money for the profits you have done, na? At least for that you should be happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to be optimistic. Yeah, that is the one thing that we can do. So, Satvik, after looking at 2 years of almost taxation system being in place, PMLA, rules coming in, FIU regulations cracking down over the offshore exchanges, all of those things happening, what is the best course of action do you believe an individual is supposed to take in order to minimize their tax liabilities?
Not much you can do. If you're not happy with the Indian taxation, then go out of India. That's pretty much it. See, because you can find a kind of look at little benefits you can make, but that is not going to change anything much, right? So at one point of time, we used to advise, okay, if you made some profits and if the crypto prices are down, it is March 31st, about to be March 31st, then like exit the crypto and again buy it back, so that these losses can be offset in some other profits. So now all of that is gone, right? So it's straightforward 30%. for profits and zero for losses and no offset for next year. So there is not much room of how you can use your strategy to make this better. Okay. So I have seen some people saying, okay, I will open a company in Dubai, go to Singapore and try doing it and such. But if they're doing it, there is only they're entering more and more of the gray area, I would say. So how it will be treated in the future, we are not too sure as well. But if they're just having an account, bank account or crypto account in international exchange and trying to do it, saying that it's not Indian, then definitely that is not true. If there is profit, yes, it's a profit. You have to pay taxes irrespective of where you did that particular trade. So, and I would actually not recommend stressing with one stressing on uh, how to optimize taxes. So that's not really happening anymore. So instead, use your time and efforts to actually make more money. Pay your taxes and enjoy the remaining. That's pretty much what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, that is how you attain peace of mind. Otherwise, there will be no peace of mind at all. We have Shivam making some statements here. Crypto community is more matured and honest here, to be honest.
You
Government,
don't have option here. You don't have option.
I mean, yeah, what can one do? It's the law of the land. And
Yeah, yeah.
Shivam is also saying the government is taxing before creating regulations. That is crazy. At least tax brackets should have been there, I think, is what he means. I mean,
No, see, taxation is a completely different arm, department, ministry as compared to regulations. In fact, some regulations are already there. I would and asking for more and more regulation, you don't know whether it happens in your favor or it may not happen in your favor. So right now, you are allowed to trade. You are to supposed to pay income tax, pay it. So this is better than more unfavorable things happening, and we should be happy that it's 30%, which generally most of us fall into that thing, right? So it's not like extremely bad. It's okay.
one thing that I believe in, which I also talked about thodi der pehle, and that's the best thing to do. If you if you just have spare money, SBP it, forget about it, do not liquidate it until you need it. Like it's an emergency situation where you need that money. Till then, just keep investing. Forget about that. That is my mantra. Like I know someday I'm gonna have a lot of money kept in there in one place because that is what time has at least proven about Bitcoin, at least if not any other crypto asset. That is one thing there. Shivam is saying time to leave India. Bye bye, Shivam, will miss you. No, but seriously. Yeah, sorry, Satvik, I cut you off.
No, yeah. It's not about living in India or leaving India. I think it's understanding what to do, what not to do, wherever you are. So
Exactly.
I mean, like it's not so easy, and it's not such a easy possibility for maybe say 90% of the crypto traders to leave the country, right? Because either they have their family, parents, there is some kind of assets, education, children, obligations. There are so many reasons why someone cannot just leave the country, including financial aid, right? So um, and for a lot of them it's not like crypto trading is the only thing they do as well. They just do it like how they do the equity trading also. For them it's not like they have to leave the country or anything like that. So for some people who say have seen this to be a career of, I mean, for themselves, they would have figured it out already. I don't think they would have waited till today of how they want to handle the taxes and what they want to do, what they don't want to do.
Absolutely. I mean, it's also a very individual course of action. What suits you best, I mean, I believe that India has been a little slow starter when it comes to the technological side of the things. But then again, India has picked up the pace like no other country. So it's just a thought, and it's just my analysis of looking at the computer and the tech industry so far, that India will pick up in the next 10 and 20 years, and it'll be, much, much, much further and ahead of the countries who are still, let's say, ahead of India right now. It's just a thought. And I feel that maybe there are going to be brighter days for crypto as such. So, so surely, Sathvik Unocoin will be leading the front at that point of the time, and will always be educating people about crypto and crypto taxes, Bitcoin, and everything, and the importance of it. Now, Satvik, another question that is coming to my mind right now. A lot of people, there are places in India where there's a place, of unutilized basically energy resources, and people are also wondering if they can start, let's say, sort of crypto mining project into their hometown spaces and stuff like that. So, how are mining practices taxed in India?
It is just like any other business activity. So it is not crypto trading. So it won't fall under fixed at 30%, but it will come as the slabs, whatever is there for individual if they are mining it as an individual. But if they're mining it as a company, then yeah, it will be same for the company as well, I think. So
Okay.
that's how I would see it happen. Yeah.
Okay, and is crypto mining profitable in today's time? Because back then, though, it was really profitable. But now, what is the scenario like now, and especially with the halving coming up?
No, I would not comment just on the Bitcoin mining, right? So Bitcoin mining, you really need a extremely huge operations,
Yes.
and in a comparatively colder country with cheap electricity to even stay competitive. Instead of that, most of the times it's just buying Bitcoin will be cheaper instead of mining Bitcoin. Okay, so but there are a lot of other coins where again people take their bet, saying that okay, I'll mine this particular coin, and the price increases, whatever. So it's more easy to mine them. Price is not high, but they believe that the price will increase in the near future. But generally speaking, India, the price of electricity and comparatively tropical temperature, at least the southern part of India, is not really good. Right? But when it comes to the northern part of India, again it is seasonal. So there are a few months where it is really cold, and there are a few months where it is comparatively low temperature. So overall, in India,
Satvik, I can't hear you. I think I lost you.
hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I was just saying that India is not the best suitable place for doing those kinds of mining operations and making money out of it. So most of the people who have tried mining, whenever I talk to them, most of them are in losses. So, and the way they say they're in loss because instead, if they had invested the same amount of money in crypto directly, they would have been in profit. So you can make profit, but you never know, kind of thing, right? So, but investing into crypto maybe is usually better. At least you invest and keep quiet. Like mining is literally making sure everything is running fine, electricity is there, air conditioning is always online. You have the internet issues, then you have tenancy and rental issues. So it's like a business by itself. You are a miner, as compared to investing in crypto, which is like one button and then you sit. Whatever happens will happen. So uh, mining is little tough. I think, yeah.
Indeed, from the looks of it, it looks tough enough. And I mean, having is coming up, the solving of those problems gonna get even more difficult. So, I mean, I'm just really looking forward to having, because I'm super excited about it, and I'm counting down the days and everything. But let's see some of the comments of Shivam's here in the section. So he's saying government is dropping the opportunity. I know many companies have moved out. And I think about the electricity statement, Shivam is saying, meanwhile, electricity is free in Karnataka. No, Shivam, I just paid my electricity bill today.
No, I think you have that some units free if you are within those units. I think up to 200 rupees worth of units, or like 30 units or something like that. So there is some calculation, so which is available for free. And if you are more than that, then you have to pay anyway, kind of thing. So It is just one of the perks that the government in Karnataka has given.
Oh, okay, I did not know this. So I'll reduce my electricity consumption so that I can be in that unit sector. Let's see how that goes. 200 units. Thanks for letting me know, Shivam. This might be really profitable for me in the coming
Now
months.
you can invest that money in SBP.
Yeah, I can surely invest that money in SBP. Yeah, I anyway spend a lot on my electricity bill. So, okay, Sathvik, now, since we are reaching the end of our session, I want to close this with a very final, interesting question, which I'm sure our audience is also waiting to know about. What do you think will be the course of action on crypto taxes? It's, of course, guys, this is not a, advice or any predictions or as such, but just an opinion, just an understanding from an expert about what can happen, what is the possibility. Can we see some positive reaction from the government in the coming days with the new government forming and everything?
I don't think in the short term there will be anything. Which is,
Yeah, they have barely talked about crypto taxes at all.
yeah.
So it's a
I
hard.
think so. There will be time when they say that okay, crypto is nothing special. It is like any other business. We are just making it as the same like any other business taxability. Just do your thing. Maybe that's the best we can expect. Beyond that, we're expecting something more favorable for crypto. This is not one of the priorities for the government. It is not like people cannot live without crypto or anything like that. So it is a industry that people who have some knowledge about it can understand its impact is betting on. So that is how I would see it as. So it will still take maybe some more time for it to become like a normal, very normal business like any other business. Do your taxes accordingly. Maybe TDS 1% is extremely high. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's like point 0.1 or point 0.01 or something like that is more beneficial. But again, after government having enough data, I think these two things probably may come out. So then we don't need to worry about loss offset because it will automatically be applicable in also. So those benefits will be there for us.
Hopefully, let's see, because rightly said Satvik, this is not a priority for the government. I mean, I was watching this podcast the other day, and the anchor supposed happens to ask this question to this some MP or MLA, I do not recall the name, and his response was, "I can very well implement metaverse as an advanced technology, for different purposes, but do you know how many schools in India even have a smart board?" So our priority is to start with smart boards first, rather than going for a technology that is way, way, way more advanced and has lesser use case in comparison to what we are looking to provide. So definitely, if we look at government's perspective as well, there are a lot of things that they have to take care of too. So let's hope for the best, and all the best to the community, all the best to all the agendas, all the hashtags that are going to be trending soon. Let's see what happens. Until then, definitely make sure to pay your taxes, guys. Any help you need, any questions you have, our comment sections are always open. We'll be very happy to answer any of your queries related to crypto taxes, anything at all. With this, I'll be closing our today's session. It was an amazing session. Thank you so much for your energy, for your amazing questions. Thank you so much, Satvik, for being here and giving all these amazing answers, well defined. I mean, I could never bring my head around it as clearly as you have. So, I mean, thank you so much for being here and solving our problems. And we'll see you again on Thursday, guys, for the halving episode, special halving episode. Yeah. Till then, stay tuned. Make sure to pay your taxes and just follow us on our social medias. Bye bye.
Take it. Bye.
Good night.